Welcome back to Golden Blued, everybody, and if you are a college football fan, a die-hard college football fan, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. That's all we do here, videos of college football every single day. And don't forget, now you can send me stuff. Finally got a P.O. box. Send gear to represent your team on my back wall every single video and live show. Here's the address you send it to, P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina, 29657. Week 0 was indeed crazy. A lot of drama that I was not expecting. Nebraska loses to Northwestern, and that was the one team that they blew out last year. I was not expecting that. Scott Frost's hot seat is now on broil. He might not be able to even sit on it right now. That's how hot it is. UConn looked impressive in a loss against Utah State, and Vanderbilt looked impressive in a blowout win over Hawaii. And Golden Blue Dude is over here still talking about conference realignment from time to time. Yeah, I know. But we had a great Saturday talking about college football. So don't worry, I still got you covered on that. But today I wanted to address a rumor that is, it's not crazy, but I haven't found anything to actually support it. So I'm looking to you, my viewers, subscribers. Anything on Twitter, anything ESPN, or any type of news outlet would be greatly appreciated. I'm hearing a big-time rumor that West Virginia to the SEC is looking very, very likely at this point in time. I know. And I've talked about it before. West Virginia was on the list the first go-around. They wanted Texas A&M in either Missouri or West Virginia. West Virginia was set to get the invite from the SEC. They're about 2 days away from sending it out. ESPN was like, whoa. We want the Kansas City TV market. Send it to Missouri. So we've been pretty close before. This current go-around, we've heard that the SEC actually wants Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, Virginia from the ACC, but the grant of rights have got to figure it out. A lot of things swirling and going around, and things happen in order, and if something doesn't happen in the order that it's supposed to, then things get flopped around. So far, I haven't heard that the ACC has been able to get the number of teams, 8, to get the grant of rights somehow dissolved. I don't even know how that works. Does it mean dissolved as a conference or the grant of rights dissolved? Somebody please explain that to me. All I know that the magic number is 8. Notre Dame could be included on that even though they're not a full-time member of football. Somebody explain that one to me as well, because that one blew my mind whenever I heard that. But as of right now, the ACC does not have the numbers as far as if they want the grant of rights dissolved. So the SEC can't get any teams because that grant of rights is locked in right now. If you get 2 teams, just 2, that's a $1 billion, not million, $1 billion buyout. You get 4 teams, that's a $2 billion buyout. I don't think the SEC is going to do that. So I don't know. Maybe that they have to wait till 2036 to do that. There are alternatives. I'm talking about the Big 12. And what we've heard is that there's a next 4 list. After Florida State, Clemson, North Carolina, and Virginia, there is a next 4 list, and Oklahoma State and West Virginia are on that next 4 list. Now, the 2 other teams on that next 4 list, also ACC teams. So it really doesn't help them as much because the first 4 would probably get picked up before the next 2. So if West Virginia does get the call up to the SEC, it would be in their best interest if the ACC couldn't find a way to break those grant of rights, or the teams in the ACC couldn't find a way to break the grant of rights or get to that number. That's how West Virginia gets into the SEC sooner rather than later. Maybe they can get in on down the road, but you're probably talking after 2036, something like that, or maybe after 2030. I don't know. But if you want in immediately, then you need the ACC not to get to those 8 members and no other way to break those grant of rights. Now, here's the thing that I heard. I haven't been able to confirm it, so this is where I need your help. If you can find anything on this, please send it to me. I'll have my email address in the description of this video. So what I've heard from multiple sources is Neal Brown did an interview on the SEC network. Now, I've looked at Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, ESPN, every single type of social media or news outlet that I could think of to try to find this. I can't find it. The only thing that I could come close was whenever he worked for Kentucky and they were in a film room in Kentucky in an SEC interview. That's it. That's the only thing that I can find on this. So somebody lead me down the right road if this is true. Now, one thing that I will say this that really made me raise my eyebrows is Brett Yormark extremely impressed with West Virginia's football facility. The best he's seen so far. So West Virginia most certainly has been pumping in a lot of money into their facilities, their football facilities, and it's impressed the Big 12 commissioner. Are they building up to a jump to a bigger conference? It seems like that could be definitely a possibility. In fact, a lot of people have said that's one of the reasons why it attracted JT Daniels, because the thing is, facts are facts. JT Daniels has had injury issues. We can't dance around that fact. It is a fact. Now, for West Virginia, yes, they have great rehab facilities, but even better, they have elite recovery facilities. If necessary, yes, you want to have great rehab in case a player does get injured, but you want to keep that player from getting injured, so the best way to do that is to have great recovery. That lessens the chance of getting an injury. So if you have a great recovery plan, maybe you don't even have to get to the rehab. So that really caught the eye of JT Daniels. Of course, having the former offensive coordinator from USC, Graham Harrell, who has worked with JT Daniels directly, that also helped. So a lot of things impressed JT Daniels, and actually it was one of the things that drew in Graham Harrell as well. So football facilities, a bigger deal than people realize, especially at West Virginia right now. They have poured a ton of money into football facilities. I think the next step is pouring in a ton of money into the football stadium. Yes, 60,000, that's okay, but I think West Virginia can handle at least 70,000 seat capacity stadium. I'm not asking for 100,000 or even 80,000. But I think 70,000 is definitely doable, especially when West Virginia is successful. I mean, more than doable. I know the last 3 years, not so great, and I know it's under Neal Brown, but he took a while to decide to actually get an actual offensive coordinator. Defense is fixed, but my gosh, whenever you see a problem, don't drag your feet. We do have that offensive coordinator now, so I have high expectations for this year. I do think the stadium does need to be expanded to 70,000. That's only 10,000 more, but I think 70,000 is much more appealing to these bigger conferences over 60,000, because I don't know if people realize this, but 60,000 is about the mark for like average. Not bad, but not great. So if you can bump that up to 70,000, then you're getting into the great facilities as far as capacity goes. So yes, I'm all for 70,000 seat Milan Puskar Stadium. Best way to do that would probably be to extend the corners of the end zone, kind of like what Iowa State has done, and bring some of those seats down in that end zone to where it overhangs the weight room. And I think that would add to the entrance as well. I know they've done that to a certain extent, but get rid of those luxury boxes, put them somewhere else, and just bring those stands all the way out. You're trapping noise a lot better, and it just helps the atmosphere altogether. I think the entrance would be way more electric if you did it that way. So the facilities are top-notch. We do need to expand. That is my personal opinion. 70,000 would be nice. You're getting into the good, not just average. But these things do have to happen in steps. And it seems like West Virginia is taking the correct steps. Invested in the facilities first. Well, now we'll see if they invest into the stadium itself as far as increasing capacity. Same thing with this actual conference realignment. These things happen in steps. So if they can't find a way to do the grant of rights, whatever, the 8 teams or another way to break them, then the next step automatically vaults into the West Virginia-Oklahoma State territory. And I think those would be great additions, especially, they added Oklahoma. That would be right down Oklahoma State's alley, and Oklahoma State does bring in some money and some boosters. And of course, West Virginia grabs them another state, and West Virginia, the #1 fan base in the new Big 12. So you are bringing eyeballs. I mean, you're not bringing in Texas or Oklahoma or whatever like that, but they are the best choice in the Big 12 for the SEC. Now, the Big 12 grabbing the 4 corners, and I'm hearing a lot of buzz about that, helps replace losing those 2 and gains 2 more. So the Big 12 would still have 14 if those 2 were to leave, but you still bring in Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah. So I think that's a cause and effect. And if you want to back up even further, the reason the 4 corners are joining the Big 12 is I'm hearing that Oregon and Washington are going to head off to the Big 10, and possibly Stanford and Cal. And that all depends on Notre Dame. They might try to grab Notre Dame and Stanford, or they might just switch it up and go with Stanford and Cal. And of course, this would not be full revenue share, even for Oregon and Washington, not just Stanford and Cal. They would be getting a lower revenue share than the rest of the Big 10, but hey, at least you're safe. And that's what's going to spur these 4 corners to join the Big 12, and that's going to help the Big 12 because it looks like Oklahoma State and West Virginia could be headed to the SEC. Got to put it all together. One thing happens because of another thing happens, and here's the thing. This thing right here doesn't happen if this other stuff doesn't happen. So it could all blow up in everybody's face, and nothing happens because the first thing doesn't happen. And I think the first thing is Oregon and Washington to the Big 10. And then on the other side, the ACC doesn't get 8 votes to dissolve, and there's no way around the grant of rights. Those are the first two things to happen for the next things to happen. And don't worry, yes, I'm going to have more actual college football videos as well. I'm just intrigued with conference realignment, trying to figure out how this is going to shake out. So y'all let me know in the comments section, which direction do you think this goes? And do you think West Virginia and Oklahoma State end up in the SEC? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.